Good morning all. I did start to do this video outside, but my phone died in the cold, so I'm doing it in here instead. So, red light. Does how I use it, does how you use it change between summer and winter? Must it change? Is it as effective in summer as it is in winter? They're all great questions, and they all have slightly different answers, and they all have different answers depending on you and what you want from it. So if we start with does how I use it in the summer and winter, is there a difference? And the simplest answer is yes, there is. In the winter, I'm dressed up head to toe, and there's no light getting to my body at all. There are some wavelengths of light that can penetrate through clothes and stuff like that, but for all intents and purposes, it's in darkness. And so I use red and infrared light to make up for that shortfall in light. And specifically with red and infrared, we know from the 5,000 plus research articles and published papers that there are just how beneficial red and infrared light can be. So much so that you could say that your body thrives on red and infrared light and almost needs it. It needs light in order to function optimally. And therefore, come winter time when it's cold and we all put clothes on, we are depriving our bodies of something that it needs, light. So in the winter time, I will use full body panels relatively close, and I'll look to get some good penetration from that light. Not just to give the body what it needs, but the downstream effects, the anti-inflammatory effects, the pain relief effects, the mood elevation effects, the performance, both psychological and physiological. So all these things have been shown to be improved with the use of red and infrared lights, but there's also uses for other wavelengths of light as well. So I do have some blues and some greens around me, but most of the time I'll use the full body panel and look to give my body what it's lacking from the environment at that time. I will also use the targeted panels or targeted little handheld lamps for aches and pains that I have, specifically my ankle, just to give it a little bit more focused energy. And then come summertime, what do? We kind of take off a lot more of our clothes, we spend more time outdoors, and so we get a lot of that light. We get a lot more light on a much larger portion of our body, and so we get some of the benefits from red and infrared light by being outside, by having less clothes on. And so then does it become non-essential? Well, it's not essential anyway, but does it become less important? And for me, the answer is no, it doesn't. It just changes what you use it for, potentially. So for me, in the summer, I use it as a preconditioning tool for my skin, and a sun damage rejuvenation tool for my skin, as well as the pain relief, anti-inflammatory for the targeted bits that I want to focus on. And so what do I mean by precondition my skin? Well, they know now that normally if you wake up, you catch the morning rays, which has a different percentage of wavelengths of light, proportions of wavelengths of light. And normally this preconditions your skin to expect the more damaging rays later on. But a lot of people, they wake up late and then they go out into the sun. And so their skin hasn't been preconditioned. Their skin has no idea what to expect. And therefore they're much more likely to get burnt because their skin hasn't prepared for any kind of sun exposure. And so what I do is I make sure that I have red and infrared light therapy before I go out into the sun. And that helps precondition my skin to expect the potentially more damaging rays of the sun and be able to cope with it much better. And then on the flip side of that, I also use it when I've been a long day in the sun. I'll use red light therapy in the evening in order to repair and rejuvenate my skin and repair and rejuvenate that kind of potential sun damage that has happened throughout the day. And as I've said in the past, the last 2 years where I've been using full body or half body panels, so I've got a lot of coverage, I haven't been burnt once. Now, there must be some additional things to that, like my skin will react to the sun different to your skin. You're an individual. I am not saying that you don't need to use sunblock. I am not saying that. Whatever I do personally isn't an indication for what you should do. But I'm saying what has happened to me. What has happened to me, and as far as when I use the preconditioning, I don't seem to get sunburn when I use the preconditioning and the after sun red light therapy. I don't seem to get burned. But again, I've got dark hair and dark eyes. If you've got light hair, light eyes, red hair, etc., etc., you have to have sensible sun exposure for you, and that's the key. The other thing is, I've already been sunbathing this year. I'm not the kind of person which will just strip off and then expect my body to be able to deal with 8 hours in the sun. All the time where the sun comes in and the wind's in the right direction, I will strip off in my living room, open the big windows up, and allow my body to be exposed to sun, and work my way up to being out with nothing on or very little on for large portions of the day. Expecting your body to be able to go out into the sun and deal with 8 hours of continuous sun exposure if you've had your clothes on for the last 6 months is not the smartest thing to do. So using red light therapy to precondition your skin, having sensible sun exposure, precondition your skin to light before you expect to sunbathe, and that's natural light, that's not indoor light, that's natural light, so big windows open if it's cold, but that's how it changes. So in the summer I make up for the shortfall of the wavelengths of light that I'm missing by having full body sessions where I'm trying to get all that light that I'm missing from not spending hours upon hours outside. But in the winter I help my skin and I help my body. So in the summer I go help my skin and I help my body prepare for the sun and recover from the sun. But at the same time I'll still focus a lot on the targeted areas that need that little bit of extra help. So for example, my ankle, or maybe any other niggles, or even when I've had a really hard session, I will have a little bit more red light therapy in order to help my recovery. So does it change winter to summer and how I use it? A little bit, yeah. But the benefits are still there, like to have summer or winter. It just changes what I might want to use it for, or what I focus on my usage for, because I'm outside more in the summer. Therefore I'm not depleted of those wavelengths of light. Therefore I'm just going to help supplement in various ways in order to help my body function the best possible way. And again, how you respond to the light will be individual to you. But that's how I use it personally. And you might want to use it in a different way. But there are so many different ways within which red and infrared light therapy can help you. You won't be struggling for a usage summer or winter. It's so versatile. It's so good. You will not be struggling for a usage winter or summer. Much like the blue light blockers, in the winter time we put the lights on, and so we need the blue light blockers in the evening time. In the summertime it's light, and it's light a long time, so we can put those blue light blockers on and substitute the normal sundown by putting these blue light blockers on and allowing our body to understand, oh, it's sundown, therefore it's time for us to rest and digest, rest and relax, and get prepared for bed. In the winter time we do the same. We turn some of the lights down, hopefully, and then you put your blue light blockers on, and therefore your body starts to understand, oh, it's evening time, it's night time, let's rest and digest, let's rest and relax, and let's get ready for bed. So understand light and understand how important light is to your overall health and well-being, and then look for things that can help that and help you along the way. Have a great Sunday, and get outside if you can. It was a lovely morning when I went out.